I'm a little out of practice at this, as you can tell. It's my first vlog proper of 2023, and you can read the title. 1,250 days. That's, give or take. It was about a week ago, something like that. That's how long I have waited for a first appointment at a NHS UK gender clinic. And I'm not going to go into one about the state of the NHS and the state of trans healthcare. I will do a very small name drop. Abigail Thorne of Philosophy Tube, she did a video recently, as time I'm recording this, which covers it a lot better than I ever could. So that's the go-to place, to be honest. She does a very good job of explaining why the NHS is in the state it's in, and I'm not going to go into that because that's not what I do. I am, however, going to look at the last 1,250 days and dwell on my personal thoughts about it. Because initially, when I went into the doctors and I asked for a referral, I looked, everybody should look, if they are thinking about it, look at the waiting lists, realise that is optimistic at best, and then choose which one they think is better for them. I have 2 GICs. They are roughly the same distance away, depending on, geographically at least, but depending on how you want to get there, one is slightly easier than the other. So, because I drive, Nottingham is easier for me because it is literally make my way to get on the motorway and straight down there. Whereas for some people, if say you're going by train or something like that, then it's easier to go to. Which one did I say? Yeah, Northampton's easier for me. Nottingham is the other one. So it's easier, if you want to go by train from where I am, then Nottingham's easier. Northampton's the one that I've signed up for. So yeah. Anyway, I got my referral letter back, saying this is your referral. The expected wait time is 40 months, and that, I believe, is due to pass any day now. And according to their website, they are still seeing people referred in January, and I was referred in August. So it's taking them about 3 months to get through a month's worth of referral, something like that. So I'm optimistic that I might get seen this year, but anyway, it's the easier one for me to get to, in terms of, because I drive, and as I said, both the same distance, and it wasn't the shortest waiting list out of the 7 that serve the UK, but I was comfortable waiting that long because I'd only just come out to myself and hadn't come out to anybody yet, and I was processing a lot of stuff, and I'm like, it gives me a little bit of time. There are some people out there this is the other reason as well why I chose the waiting list that I did, was because I'm still fairly comfortable. I've still got a lot to work out. There are people out there that are desperate for this treatment and any assistance that they can get, and I didn't want to take their spot. I'll happily wait a little longer rather than deprive somebody of the opportunity that they need desperately. Again, I'm not going to go into the state of trans healthcare on the NHS. It is diabolical. And if you did get on a shorter waiting list, you're probably waiting just as long as me anyway. But I was fairly happy and comfortable that wait time for me was going to be good, and turns out it's not been bad. Now, again, not for everybody. Again, some people are desperate to get the help that they require. I'm not so much. I'm still a little ambivalent about transition. I'm still trying to thrash a lot of stuff out in my head. But the additional time has helped me come to terms with my sexuality. I'm still thrashing out my gender identity to a degree. I've mentioned previously I call myself gender fluid, but I'm actually just wanting the girl side of me to take over properly and be, for lack of a better phrase, properly transgender. That doesn't work, but hopefully you know what I mean. And it also gave me the opportunity to sort my name choices out. my dead name is long gone, and I chose to be called Holly for a little while, and that was only supposed to be for a little while, and it turned out 4 years later I was still called Holly, and that changed, and now I am legally Zoe. Done the deed poll and everything, and I'm in the process of changing all the paperwork, which, yeah, that's a lot of fun. But it helped me, the additional weight helped me figure out who I actually was. Again, having spent 20 years as an alcoholic, I didn't have that, just to hide, if you will. I didn't have that time to figure myself out, if you will. I was just concerned about where the next drink came from. So I lost 20 years, so what's an extra couple of years wait to be seen by the NHS? That was my viewpoint then. It still is to a degree, because, as I say, I am still thrashing things out in my own mind. But the downside to a waitlist like that, to any of the waitlists, really, you don't get any assistance in between. My hormone regime has been spotty at best, because either I haven't had the money, or the availability has been limited. Excuse me, all sorts of wonderful reasons why my HRT regime has been sort of shite. My GP refused to help, essentially, in the initial period. Hopefully they'll be, if I do get on the NHS pathway, whenever that might be, hopefully they'll be open to assisting with that. But when I first went in there, they were like, well, we can't do anything. Like, okay. And then there was another thing. What was it? Mental health. I've had no mental health assistance, because, again, the NHS wait times on that are ridiculous as well. So when I had a breakdown a couple of years ago, I had no assistance. And, it wasn't available, if you know what I mean. And again, I'm not going on to the NHS. I'm not going to do that. I can't afford to go privately. I am in a fairly low-paid job, I've got to be fair, but it's also convenient for my lifestyle, outside of... I worded that wrong. How I live, generally, it's convenient for that, but it's not the highest paid job in the world, so I can't currently afford to go private. And to be fair, with the way that certain private carers are regarded amongst NHS general practitioners, it's like, so I wouldn't want to be bothered with that, because, like I say, my GP just didn't want to know initially, and if I'd have taken him referral, shared care agreement from a random company, they would have probably gone, nah, we ain't doing that. So, so the additional time has helped to a degree. It's been a bit rough in places, because, as I say, I've had no assistance. I can't afford. It's one of those where shared care and the informed consent model definitely would have helped, and it would make more sense, and it would apparently save the NHS billions every year. But again, not going on that. Check the other video that I mentioned, and it's 1,250 days. In the grand scheme of a life that I've had so far, it's not a lot. It's literally 3 years. But it is now starting to wear a little thin, I've got to be fair. And yes, you can go into the fact that things are going to be delayed because of plague and NHS funding and things of that nature, but it's a little frustrating. It's getting to the point now where it's a little frustrating, because I've had no assistance through the course of my transition. I've certainly not got it at home. I've got friends and people that I work with. They're very supportive, but what can they do? So yeah, it's I'm still going, I'm still kicking, and we're going to keep waiting. You never know, by the end of this year I might actually get seen. And that's the other thing, this is just for an assessment, the first assessment. That's what I'm currently waiting for, is a first assessment. Not even treatment, a first assessment. And God, I am very grateful that I am not a young person anymore, because if I was 17, 18, that's even worse. So, there's very little there. I mean, I've got a choice of like 7 places in the UK. If you're under 18, you've got a choice of 1. Nah, couldn't be having with that. But no, that'll do. I'm just waffling now, not making a lot of sense and wording everything badly because I'm out of practice and I need to do this more often. But yeah. Hopefully it won't be another 1,250 days before I get seen. I would probably be optimistic if I said it was another 250. I get a gut feeling I'm going to see 1,500 days on this waitlist before I get seen. It's not good enough. That'll do. I've made no sense for 10 minutes now, nearly 11 minutes, so I'll leave you to your day, and yeah, you take care. See you soon.